We're here at All Energies 2024 at the amazing Clenergy stand, looking really good, and I'm speaking to Maheen.
Hi.
Could you introduce yourself, Maheen, and tell us what you do at Clenergy?
Yes, so I'm Maheen, the lead product solutions engineer at Clenergy.
Yep.
So I started my career in Clenergy as a tech support engineer, and then I moved up the ladders, and right now I'm looking after the ground mount space.
Right.
Particularly the new products, the D1P tracker that you see over here,
Yep.
and the icon that you see on the other side.
So we're standing in front of this tracker, and I was just saying before off camera, it wasn't that long ago that a single axis tracker ground mount wasn't cost effective, but
Correct.
that's completely changed, hasn't it?
It has. In some cases, these trackers can come at a much lower price than even some of the fixed tilt.
Wow.
Yes, so it is more economical to go for trackers, especially for the large scale projects. I would say when you are using this tracker, we'd probably be aiming somewhere around the 10 meg
Right.
projects for ground mount. That's where you really get the benefits of using.
Is that where you hit the sweet spot, do you, from a like the levelized cost, you know, all of that kind of financial
Correct.
stuff?
In some cases, you can get it at much lower project sizes as well, depending on the project conditions, of course. But yes, trackers definitely are getting much more feasible compared to what they were in the past.
Now, does this have does this have a predictive aspect? Do you use some kind of algorithm in regards to what's happening with the weather and what's going to happen with the weather?
That's a very good question.
Yeah.
So we have something called the astronomical algorithm.
Wow, that's
So-
a mouthful.
Yeah, it is. So what it does is basically that algorithm tells the tracker where the sun is at any given time of the year, so it can track the sun effectively. Apart from that, it does have some feedback sensors as well,
Yep.
so that it can see how much it's deviating from the actual position of the sun and adjust accordingly. This also comes with a few other protective features as well, flood stow, wind stow, and this basically means if you have excessive
Right.
of those things, they're gonna go to a protective position where the panels are flat.
Right, now what about hail events? We're seeing some radical weather
Correct.
around the world. It's a no-brainer that obviously a system like this must have some kind of protective mechanism.
Yes.
And what is that mechanism?
It's called hail stow
Yeah, right.
as well. So when it hails a lot, it will turn the panels
Yep.
into a protective angle
Yep.
at which the hail direction or the hail hitting is minimized. It comes with about 5 protective features.
Right.
So hail, storm, hail, flood.
Yep.
You get the wind. You
Yep.
get the snow. There's one more as well, which I can't really recall. But
Lightning?
yes, could be. Not yet, but yes.
So
could
with
be.
the hail, are we going down to at a 70-degree tilt or something like that?
It's going to be against the hail. So whichever direction it is, it's going to be against that.
Okay, so the hail's coming down on this angle, and the tracker would track to like that. Right. Okay.
There is a bit of manual input needed
Okay.
in some cases. So it can be controlled remotely using cloud-based SCADA.
Yep.
So you can change the angle to whatever you like. So you can obviously see from your house how the hail is reacting and basically give it input to respond accordingly.
Yes. That makes sense. Now, I notice a lot of single axis trackers tend to go with a single panel situation. So obviously this is designed for a very large format. You're talking 500, 600, 700 watt
Yes,
panels.
correct.
Ideal for this. Whereas obviously with the static ground mounts, you're talking about maybe 2 or 3 panels, and some in a landscape configuration. But this
Yep.
one, it's a single panel
Correct.
situation.
So this one we call the D1P tracker.
Yep.
So 1P basically means one panel in portrait.
Yep.
We also have the D2P, which is 2 panels
wow.
in portrait.
But obviously then your row spacing becomes wider, but at the same time row spacing is not only determined by the shading aspect of the panels, but also the access from a maintenance perspective and of course the installation perspective.
Correct.
Yeah, so really interesting.
Yep.
I love this. Now, you've got lots of other products at Clenergy. What do I see over here with another ground mount system?
So that's our one of the flagship product for this year.
Yep.
It's called the Solar Terrace Icon. So it makes the best use of hot dip galvanized steel and MAC coated steel on top.
Yep.
So
So what's the other steel on
MAC
top?
coated. So this is something many people haven't heard before.
Right.
So when it comes to steel, there are 2 commonly practiced treatment in the industry.
Yep.
So one is the hot dip galvanized,
Optic
which
gal,
you
yep,
always
great
know.
penetration, better than
Yep.
rolled, yep.
and MAC is probably better than all of them. So it's
Right.
like a special magnesium, aluminium, zinc alloy, which is
Right.
placed on the steel, and it makes it very robust to corrosion.
Right.
So if
Does
you
it have that self-healing property? That people
correct,
talk-
I was gonna
Really?
come
Yeah,
to
wow,
that.
Wow.
So this coating is also used in our cable trays,
Wow.
and over there, yep, we do market it as a self-healing for scratches or small. Let's say when you're working, you can't always maintain the proper thing, right? So you might have small scratches and things like that. So it does self-heal over time.
Now with the this ground mount system, what's the name of it again? The one
So
over
it's
here?
called the Solar Terrace Icon.
Solar Terrace Icon. Yeah.
Yes, it's quite innovative. I'll give you a few key features of
Yep.
it. So you see the clamps. So
Yep.
we have left some loose at the very end as well.
Some clamps. Yes.
Yep. And those basically penetrate the panel, so there is no need for grounding clip.
Right.
So the whole earthing is from the panel through the frame to the post.
Lovely.
So no earthing cables needed on this one.
Excellent.
Another useful feature is this can tolerate ground slopes of up to 30%.
Wow.
Yep.
So you don't have to no laser leveling potentially.
You would still have to do that leveling.
Okay.
But imagine your ground is like this instead of like a flat one.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah. No. Wow.
So the whole rail system is going to follow the slope of the ground in case you have a tilt, and that is up to 30%, which we can tolerate.
Okay, so this is the option pile driven only, or do you have a earth screw option for them? What sort of when
so-
it comes to actually coming in contact with the ground?
Yep. So pile driven or rammed is probably the best solution.
Yep.
So when it comes to large scale project, that tends to be the most economical one.
Yes.
But we do have option for concreting, of course. Let's say you run into bedrock or something like that, and eventually there's going to be a ground screw option as well.
Yeah, wow, that's great because you're treading more lightly. Also, it's great if the area has to be remediated for whatever reason,
Yes.
and the system removed. Now, cleansing a lot of other products. What about the cable tray? Tell us about the runner.
So we did touch up a bit on that about the coating side.
Yeah.
So Runner now basically has a wider range. So it has been there in the market for about 2 years already. So we have 150, 300, 450, and 600
Right.
with cable trays, all MAC finish, and that's that special magnesium alloy I was talking about, magnesium, aluminum, zinc. That means self-healing. So any small scratches, you don't have to spray zinc like you would have to in a standard cable tray. We do have a special test that was done with the Runner product and the other competitors out there. We didn't name anyone, but you can clearly see who's the winner after the salt spray test.
All right. Look, I really appreciate your time
Yeah.
here today, mate. A word of advice, get yourself comfortable shoes or a nice spongy mat because your feet are going to hurt at Thursday afternoon. Congratulations on presenting some wonderful products, and I'll chat to you later on off camera.
Yep, thank you so much.
See you later.
Yeah.